Hi friends, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina. I'm thrilled to be here with you today to do a little video on the stroller that you see behind me. That is the NUNA DEMI Next. So if you're familiar with this channel at all, I've done a ton of videos going over why I love the DEMI Next versus a lot of the other single to double stroller options out there. But I don't have a video just on the Next on its own where we're not comparing it to something, so I thought I would make that for you. Before we get going, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to leave comments below. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. Anytime that I can get another person to subscribe and we can grow the viewership of the channel, the easier it is for me to get these products from the brands to be able to demonstrate for you guys. In case you're not aware, I do non-sponsored content, which means that all of the opinions are my own. Nobody pays me to talk about any of this stuff. I buy every single thing that I show on the channel, which does end up being quite costly. And it takes time to do all of these things. So the greater we can grow the viewership, the easier it's going to be for me to make more of these videos moving forward. Additionally, if you're finding my instructions on how to use this stuff helpful or you like the videos, please head over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. I am a real brick and mortar store in the San Francisco Bay Area. I would love to sell this directly to you, ship it right to your home, no problem. You can order it on my website. You can see the other colors on my website, destinationbabykids.com. Really fabulous product, NUNA DEMI Next. So let's launch into what's going to make this bad boy special. Thank you guys for watching. Here we go. Okay, so DEMI Next from NUNA is a single to double stroller, which means it starts off, you use it for one kiddo, and then as your family grows, and there's stuff on the floor here, there's a lot of stuff that comes with the stroller, so we're going to talk about all of that. But it's a single stroller, so it starts out working for one, but it could work for two right out of the box, could work for twins, two different ages. However you want to do it, NUNA is willing to grow with your family, and they enable you to be able to make it work however works for you, which I think is really fabulous. Also, the physics of this stroller is the best in terms of single to double for pushing. So as someone who is a self-centered person, and I care about my mobility product not fighting with me, this is my favorite single to double just in terms of push. So I cannot state it more thoroughly. I love the stroller for one kid, and I love it even more when the family grows for two. Now, it's not for everybody. The way that they explain how to use it, how NUNA shows using it, I think is poor. So we're going to go over that as well, no offense to them. But I think they could do a better job explaining how to use it. So we're going to talk about that right now. All right, let's just talk about some of the basics like we do with all the video, and just so that we can run through the cheat sheet stuff first, just because it's a little annoying, and then we'll get into more of the usages of it. So like the seat unit itself, the stroller is $9.50. It comes with a seat. It comes with an upper car seat adapter, a lower car seat adapter, and a big kid standing riding board, a rain shield, and a mosquito net, all included in the purchase price. So for $950, you're gonna get everything you need to use this for one or two kids directly out of the box. And again, we'll get into that. Warranty is gonna be a 2-year warranty. The backrest on the seat itself is gonna be 20 inches. The canopy clearance is 22 inches, so that's from the butt to the top of the canopy. When it's engaged, it'll be a 22-inch clearance. Harness minimum and maximum. The minimum on the harness is a 10-inch, and then it's going to grow up to a 15-inch on the harness, so that's great. The width on the seat is 11.5 inches. The seat depth is 9 inches. The leg extension, which is the piece that comes down here to the heel stirrup, there is a heel stirrup on the seat. If you guys watch my channel, you know I'm kind of crazy for that. So that's awesome. So the leg extension is 10 inches, and then knee drops. So that is where the knee drops to the heel stirrup. That's 10 inches, but if you wanted to go all the way down to the lowest setting where we would tuck this back for a kiddo with long legs, that is going to be 16 inches. The crotch belt depth, so the depth of where this piece comes from the back of the seat, is 4 inches. The buckle type on it is magnetic. I'm going to show you guys that. It has a liner included in the purchase price, which is awesome because it's not just some bum liner that goes behind the kid's back. It actually goes under their butt to collect crumbs and other filth. So this is a really good liner that's included, and when we remove it from the stroller, it actually has a mesh ventilated panel on the back, which I will show you guys. Handle height of the stroller. So we have a variety of handle heights. I believe it's 4 different positions, but your shortest is 41.5 inches, and then your tallest is going to be set to 44. So if you are a tall parent, the handle height here does come up pretty dang tall. It's got a nice long open back for like a long gate, so that is a really nice option. And the basket on this guy is insane. Very, very large. Huge. So we love that. Nice feature. Basket shelf, 17 inches wide by 27 front to back. The basket capacity is going to be 22 pounds, which is plenty of stuff. The opening on the front of the basket is 9 inches. The opening on the back of the basket is 16 inches. Like, what are you putting in there? Who knows? But you've got the space. And then there is a foot brake on the back. Very easy. Is it technically sandal friendly? No, but do I think you'd hurt your foot adjusting it? Absolutely not. And then it will have lockable front tires. So if you wanted to walk through snow, gravel, grass, you're going to be able to fix your tires from rotational to locking. So very easy. And if you are in a snow state and wearing gloves, you do not need to remove the gloves to do that. Some strollers you do, you wouldn't need to do that here. So important to me. I'm from a snow state, Minnesota. And another great feature, as I said, it does come with a rain shield. I'm not going to show that, but it does include what is called a bug netting in it. And I actually want to show this. This is one of the best canopies on any product, pretty much ever. Bugaboo does a really nice job with canopies too. So like the Kangaroo is going to be big like this. If you're considering like another single to double stroller that would be somewhat similar, that's going to have similar canopy coverage. But what Bugaboo doesn't have that NUNA does, and it's funny because Bugaboo is a lot more expensive, NUNA is going to have the mosquito net sewn onto the interior of the liner of the actual seat. Why does that matter? I'm sick of losing pieces. I lose pieces here in the store all the time. I love that this is sewn into the actual product. And here's another thing. California, where I live, isn't very buggy, okay? But if I went to Disney with a smaller child and they started to get oversaturated with, or overstimulated, I should say, with oversaturating colors and sounds of something like that, here we have the option to just keep them fully covered to get some me time, some time to calm down, to relax, to not have everything be so in your face. So I think that that is a really nice feature that's included on the product. It works really beautifully all together. And again, this isn't like a make or break thing. It's just a really kind feature that they include that sort of understands that parents are busy and they forget pieces. So if it's one less thing to lose, I'm definitely into it. I think that that's a great feature. You've got ventilation on the side of the canopy, and then you also have a mesh ventilated window on top. So when we close the additional gusset, those side vents go away, but we still have the top vent fully able to be utilized, and that does have a magnetic closure, so that's a very nice feature. The stroller is going to have 3-position recline, so I think maybe even 4 now. The old version had 3, so we have 1 at most upright, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 4-position recline. The old version of the Stroller Demi Grow had 3 positions, but we haven't had a Demi Grow in a million years. It's been a long time, so we're not going to worry about that. All right, when you buy the stroller, you wouldn't place the new baby directly into this stroller seat. Although it has a 180-degree recline, this is too tilted for a little baby under 6 months. So how you would use it for the first 6 months is going to be with the car seat, which is sold separately, but the adapter to make the NUNA car seat, that's included. So we'll put that on the stroller. I've got it caregiver facing currently. So here's my NUNA car seat. Gonna go right on the stroller, clicks on super easily. And as you can see, we still have the awesome sunshade. This is true of all the NUNA car seats. Kiddos get the most sun damage the first 2 years of their life. So anytime you can put a sunshade on a kid, please do it. I cannot ask you enough. I hate seeing kids out walking and their parents are wearing hats and sunglasses and they look so cool. And then the kid sitting in the stroller without the canopy pulled down. Like, what are you doing? Please cover them whenever you can. So here we've got a great sunshade. Another thing that's really fabulous about this is that if we wanted our kiddo to not be caregiver facing, like they wanted to look out at the world, let's say we're at Oakland Zoo and they want to see the animals, now we can have the seat facing out toward the world, can have the handle come down, and then they've got a good view of what's going on. So not every stroller that locks the car seat onto it that's modular has this option to face out toward the world or face caregivers. So this is a really, really cool feature that they offer, and so we would just want to point that out. Love that feature. Now, once kiddo obviously outgrows that seat, or at 6 months, you know, the seat will go for long. The car seat will generally work for the first year, but you probably stop using it on the stroller at around 6 months. Additionally, you could buy a bassinet for this stroller to clip on here directly. That would include a stand. It is overnight sleep certified. It's $400. I don't generally show it, but it can do it. So just something to be aware of. Now we've got kiddo caregiver facing, which is so sweet. I would have to say most children that I've ever watched don't care to be looking at you. They like to look out at the world. So of course the seat faces both directions. Very easily adjustable foot plate, and the foot plate's adjustable with a single hand. So most every other stroller you have to press 2 buttons simultaneously to adjust the foot plate. That's true of Bugaboo, which again, more expensive product, but here, single hand adjustment, which is very, very nice. Okay, now talking about the seat itself, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the front bar. Fully removable, which is great. And I'm gonna bring the seat over to the camera to show some really cool features. So on the back of the seat, we have a zippered pocket. I call it a cigarette pocket because you can keep your cigarettes back here and you can smoke when your kids aren't looking. Just kidding. It's a pocket for whatever you want, but it's a nice little hidden pocket on the back of the stroller. If you come to the front of the stroller, you'll see it has a magnetic buckle. Now, I don't care about the fact that it's magnetic. Magnets are like cool, just in general. But what is really useful is that instead of pressing on this toward the kiddo's tummy or their crotch and using the soft of their body to be like the leverage point, we're gonna press down on the gray piece and use our thumb, and the buckle just pops apart, which is so great. The other thing is it comes back together probably the most easily out of this style of magnetic buckles. So other brands make magnetic buckles, but nobody makes them like NUNA. So NUNA's magnetic buckle, hands down the best one. Doesn't matter which model stroller it is, they're all the same type of magnetic buckle with NUNA, which is so awesome. If we remove the liner, and again, the liner goes under the butt. So all the crumbs that come down and catch down here, when we take this liner out, we're gonna shake it out, all of that stuff's gonna go away. If you buy, let's say, an Uppa Baby Vista V3, the liner actually doesn't come under the butt. It just goes behind the back. Who the hell would want that? It's like we're gonna take it to the end zone, but then we're not gonna get the touchdown. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So again, here, we would remove the liner, and as you can see, you get a mesh ventilated panel on the back of the seat for breathability, which is so fabulous. And again, you'd unbuckle and you'd undo all the straps, then you'd take it out and you could get it from the butt piece fully come out and washable. And they can just sit directly in there with the seat, with the ventilated panel on the back. So if it's a hot day, you're good to go. Now again, this harness is all like no rethread. It will scoot up and down on its track very easily, so you don't have to physically rethread it like you do their car seat. So that is one nice feature of the stroller that maybe the car seat, I wish the car seat had, would be the invisible harness adjustment. So we'll put the stroller back on, or excuse me, the stroller seat back on the chassis, and I will rebuckle the buckle. Again, super easy, especially if a gentleman has larger fingers or a lady has larger fingers. You're not gonna get a blood blister and hurt yourself doing the buckle on this, which is great. Or if you have a wiggly kid, you can get them in there, shove them in, and get the buckle done really quickly for a little Houdini. So I love that. Yeah, so the stroller seat itself is really nice. Okay, great. So now we've got our big kid. But let's say your friend comes over and you have a 2-year-old and they have a 4-year-old. What the hell are you guys gonna do? You're gonna take them to the zoo. Where's that 4-year-old gonna go? What a drag. Well, guess what? The stroller includes a skateboard. That's this piece here. I would argue for most customers, this is actually going to be more useful than including a bassinet in the purchase price. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? I would use that bassinet for the first 6 months. Yeah, you would. But a standing riding board, you could probably use multiple times for like years. So when my sisters had 2 kids, they both have multiple children, but when they had just one, they had a single to double stroller. They both have different single to double strollers, believe it or not. They used the ride-on board and they used the strollers set up in double mode more when their friends came over than they ever did when they had their second child. If you have children, the likelihood of your peers also having children is high. So here we've got an older kid standing riding. This board will hold up to 50 pounds, and then the stroller seat will also hold up to 50 pounds. Keep in mind, you could do the car seat on here with the stroller board as well. So like if you want to take your infant car seat, and my big sister is actually 4 years older than I am, so my mom would have done something like this. New baby here, 4-year-old standing here. My sister would have loved to look at me. I mean, she was such a great big sister. She is a great big sister. But like even as a kid, she was so into like taking care of me as a little baby. So this is actually, I think, just darling because they can sit and look at their sibling. And again, if they're being a pill and they don't want to look at the sibling, we would obviously take the seat off first. You don't want to do it with the kiddo in there, but you could turn this around. So if they want to be like a little jerk to their sibling, now sibling is looking out at the world and this is like isn't even a thing. Because the older one is probably going to be more of a pill than the baby. No one ever believes me, but the older children, the toddlers, are definitely harder work than the second kiddo that comes, almost always. So now, that's one option. Again, all of this came in the purchase price of $950 with the exception of the car seat. NUNA makes 4 infant car seats. You can check out my video about that. I'll link it to here. You can pick which NUNA makes you happy as far as PIPAs are concerned. But cool thing too, stroller will actually fold with the board on it. It actually even folds with the board on it, I think, with the adapter as well. And it'll stand, has a carrying handle. You can lift it to carry it. The stroller with the seat on it is probably 30 pounds. I think the weight of the actual stroller chassis is heavier than some of the other ones, and it's because the wheels are solid rubber and they have some other cool features about the tires that I'm going to show you guys in a minute. But I'd say the frame is definitely liftable. It's just one of those things where right after you have a baby, it's probably going to feel a little heavier, and you can always lift it sideways, more briefcase style. That will feel less bottom heavy. So however you want to do it, you can do it, but it absolutely stands while it's folded, and it will also stand while it's folded with the seat on it. There's a lock on the side. Super easy to open the stroller, which I really like. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the riding board. But again, it's included. You don't have to buy it separately. It's just in there, which I think is really useful. Because again, who's coming over? They have a big kid. You want them to ride? You want to just take one stroller instead of 2? You're going to be able to do that. So very, very nice feature. Now let's talk about for when you actually do have 2 kids. How does that look? Well, you can set this stroller up for twins. Setting it up for twins is going to look like 2 car seats on it at the same time. You could buy 2 bassinets and put 2 bassinets on the same frame at the same time. I'm not going to show that because I don't have their bassinets right now. Bassinets take up a lot of room and we don't sell a ton of them. So I generally don't show them super frequently, but I do want to thank NUNA for sending me a bassinet for a different brand or a different stroller that they make, which is the Swiv and the Triv Next. I have the little bassinet and that thing's awesome. So it's like NUNA makes bassinets for each of their products. They are specific to the stroller. So you'd have to buy a Demi Next bassinet and they would go on in the same configuration that you see here. So here we've got 1 baby here and 1 baby down here. Now, the lower car seat down here that's in the lighter color in the biscotti, that's using a different adapter set. You get 1 ring adapter, which is this adapter that's on top, and then the lower guy is actually sit on a set of post adapters that are also included in the purchase price. Now the reason why the post adapters are considered the lower adapter is that if I remove the car seat and I have the stroller seat sitting on top, I'm going to be able to fold it without removing any of the pieces. So it can be a really useful setup. And that's actually something that they show in their information, which I think is really misleading. So when they have this set up for 2 kids in their imagery, they generally show it this way. So the thought is like you have your newborn down here and you can look at them, and then your big kid's up here, and the big kid's the asshole, right? So like they don't want to have anything new in their life and they don't want to have anything different, so they leave their seat the same way, and then the baby is the one that kind of gets shoved down at the bottom. Again, because I have childcare experience, this actually doesn't bother me, but I can completely understand why someone who doesn't have children yet would never feel that it would be cool to set it up this way. What I also find is that toddlers actually prefer to sit in this setup in the opposite way. So please let me explain and show you what I mean. So again, you have your toddler. They're used to sitting up here and they're used to sitting in this seat. The seat that comes with the stroller will fit on either position. So this is a huge difference between this brand and a lot of the other premium brands. NUNA, Bugaboo, Silvercross, they all force you to have a completely different second seat. So the seat that comes with the stroller can't clip on to any other portion of it. The thing that's so great about NUNA is the seat that your kid is already used to, the one that stinks like them, the one that has all their special precious memories. That is the same seat that fits on either spot. And if you're like, why would that matter? Let me explain. Okay, before you say you hate this, let me set it up. We'll take our ring adapter, we'll put that on top, and then we will put our new baby here. Just like that, okay? Before you start screaming, my kid would never do that, they never sit down there, I just know my kid and they would never do that, my kid's not even born yet, but I know they'll never sit down there. That is not a reasonable thing to do in a store, okay? It's just not. Please don't do that if you go shopping for this product, okay? What you need to understand about toddlers, if you've never taken care of kids before, a toddler, like 2-year-old, their favorite expression is gonna be, I wanna do it. So it doesn't matter what the activity is. You could be burning your dinner, you could be curling your hair, you could be dialing the phone, you could be doing something on the remote, you could be trying to brush their hair. Whatever the activity is, the toddler will want to take it over and say, I wanna do it. So again, they're going through this phase, right, where they have autonomy and they like to feel the self-mastery. That is something that we are gonna work with. We're not gonna work against it, we're gonna work with it. So when we've got baby up here and toddler's starting to get jealous, they're gonna say, I wanna go in there too. I wanna ride. Okay, you can ride, sweetheart. Let me recline the seat back. You can climb in. I'm able to do the harness, again, because it's magnetic in 2 seconds. And then I can sit the seat upright and we're good to go. The other thing that is extremely irritating to sales associates is the #1 thing people say when they look at it like this is, well, that kid down there can't see anything. They can't see a thing. Please crouch. I know bending is tricky and I know a lot of people really don't like to bend over, but if you bend down and you put yourself where they're sitting, they actually have a complete and full sight line forward facing. Their vision is not cut off. This is a different story when we're talking about twins and 2 big seats sitting on here, and I'm gonna get the secondary seat to show you that. But the other component of this is kids get used to whatever they have. They're not gonna be like, I wish you had a different stroller, I wish you had a Vista. If this is what they learn to do, this is what they're gonna be used to. And there won't be an argument about I can or can't see, because again, by the time you have your second kid, if this one's really being a little jerk about it, you can put them on the top and you can put the car seat down low. This baby won't care, and probably by the time you have your second kid, it won't matter to you nearly as much as this matters prior to even having children and understanding how kids are and how this stuff works. Now, from a physics standpoint, if you ever watch my video comparing this to other stuff, this will push the best of every single to double stroller on the market, and it's not because it's built better, it's because of the physics. So we're taking all the weight of 2 children and we're putting that over the back tire. We don't have a kid idiotically dangling over the front tires with our small rotating wheels, okay? So if we put a 50-pound kid or a 55-pound kid sitting over the very front of our stroller and we try and turn it, of course it's gonna turn like garbage, because all that weight is on the part of the stroller that needs to be lighter in order to be maneuverable. So no matter which configuration you're doing on your Demi Next, they're always pushed over the back tires versus the front tires. So again, everything that you've seen so far is included in the purchase price of this stroller with the exception of the car seat. Car seat is sold separately because again, they make 4 different car seats. Now, as I pointed out before, it is possible to do this for twins. Let me grab my second seat really quickly. I should have had it ready to go. Don't yell at me. But this is, again, non-sponsored content, right? And these are things that I pay for. So now once I open up this seat, that's it, right? I'm not gonna be able to sell it as new. So there goes $250. These videos are not inexpensive. They do end up costing money to produce. So now the sibling seat, Ooh, Sibling seat comes with a rain shield too. Well, it should. The stroller comes with a rain shield, so it makes sense that the Sibling seat comes with a rain shield. But what's useful here is I can show you the gray color, because the stroller also is available in this color called Granite. And as you can see, you can have 2 stroller seats on here at the same time. Your second stroller seat will also have obviously a canopy. I just haven't assembled this yet. Don't yell at me. And that'll go right like there. Now, typically when people buy this, they don't buy 2 different colors. They buy the same color so that the whole thing matches. But the point of this is to show when you do 2 older kids, if you were to crouch down now, this kiddo definitely has a more limited forward sight line, but they have complete sight lines on the side of the stroller. And the reality is, when you have 2 children, making sure the stroller doesn't fight you and is maneuverable is probably a greater value than worrying about what your toddlers who are eating boogers are looking at. And I understand that's like maybe not the kindest way to put it, but like worrying about what a 2 or 3-year-old's vantage point is sometimes wouldn't be my greatest concern. My greatest concern would be, can I pop it up over a curb safely and get where I'm going? Does it accommodate my growing family in a price point that's actually reasonable for what it does? Not, will little Billy and little Johnny get to see everything? Ooh. Like, it's insane, okay? So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna be self-focused, because like you as the caregiver, your happiness matters to me more than like the baby seeing everything under the sun. So we'll just leave it at that. Additionally, one other really sweet feature of this stroller, this is something I wanted to touch on really briefly, is that it has adjustable suspension. So what does that mean? There's 2 knobs on the back of the stroller, and you can of course remove the tires. So talking about the weight of the stroller, the tires actually have plastic pieces in between the spokes, so the kids can't put their fingers there and catch their fingers on that. So it's a safety thing, but it does make the wheels a little heavier. I love it though, keeps it looking very fresh. If you want, you can also remove the hubcap. Now, you don't need to remove these pieces in order to get to the custom dual suspension, but I just like to show where it is on the stroller. It's down for smooth surfaces, and then you click it up for rough terrain. There is 1 on each side. It's very much like the old school vacuums with high and low pile for carpet. So if you're familiar with that at all, this is gonna do the same thing, which is very cool. You can set it up or down depending on what you want. Now we've got the stroller shown in granite instead of in caviar. Caviar is the black, granite's the gray. And the thing that's so cool is that it of course folds with the seat on it, will stand as I promised. The front bar is pivoting, and we can have our foot plate go down as well. So folds about the same size as, let's say, like an Up a Baby Vista. It's not a tiny fold, but most single to double strollers are not small for folding. And what I would always encourage someone to do is go ahead and remove the seat, and then the stroller itself does have the handle, which you could put on your shoulder or just carry. But I feel more balanced this way than I do lifting the whole thing as one gigantic piece. And as I pointed out before, there is the locking mechanism on the side of it. Very easy to get it open. You can do it one-handed once you become familiar with what you're doing. So it's a very manageable, cool product. Okay. If I have neglected to go over anything, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. If it makes sense for you to ask a question, go ahead and ask a question. If you want to see it compared to other single or double strollers, I do have some videos of that. I'm trying to think of anything else. 4 colors. Biscotti, which is a light color, granite, cedar, and caviar. So they're all on my website, destinationbabykids.com. Head on over there. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you so much. And like I said, we'll see you in our next video.